Hello, YouTube. Where is if my really every time we just have to never okay. My thumbnail just never gets to work. That's what's happening. There it is. Yep, I guess that's the agreement, is that my thumbnail is never allowed to work anymore. That's just great. I love that. I have no idea why they have changed it to be more stupid, but whatever, I guess. It is what it is. So, we're back at it again, doing add-ups again. At least gonna try. Once I have all of this all set up and ready to go. Can I change it? Because the last stream I did, I realized it didn't monetize, even though I have my settings on to monetize automatically. But they've changed the settings, so I guess it just doesn't automatically monetize it anymore. So, whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Why would it not be fine? I hope y'all can hear me, because I'm not checking. Is it even, like, doing it publicly yet? Oh, right, I guess this is that. Okay. Yeah. Why is the chat not... There it is. Okay, I don't know why why my chat was not happening. It just, my chat was not existing. Okay, so we're gonna get back into doing some witches. Of course, if anyone watching this, of the two people watching this right now, for some reason, but in case anyone watching this in the future, I guess, was not here for the first version of this, I'm making witch adopts for November, and I decided to stream them because I need to stream more. So we did 3 last time together as a group. We have Clown Witch, we have Spider Witch, and we have Death Witch over here. So it should be a fun time, and we got 3 more to do here right now on the stream. You know, it should be a party. Man, this is unusual. Usually I don't have, like... I mean, I guess it is what it is, but usually I feel like I have more who show up, but, you know, I mean, it's fine. It also could be YouTube, I have no idea. So, hello. I hope the thumbnail actually, it, like, put something other than a black screen on, because I would really appreciate that, but whatever. I don't know, I'm still fighting with, oh, hello. Now it's kicking up, I see. Yeah, I'm still very frustrated that it's not putting my thumbnail on the stream like I want it to, but it's fine. Goodness. It's still the black screen, yep, I know. I'm so frustrated with that. I don't know why it's doing that or how I fucking fix it, so I just have to deal with it right now. It also won't automatically monetize them like it's supposed to, but, you know, whatever, it's fine. I have no fucking clue what YouTube changed to make it do this, but whatever, it's fine. Who fucking cares? Just make it harder for me to stream, as if it wasn't hard enough. Anyway, I've had a long day, and I've only been awake for, like, what, 7 hours. So, I've only been awake for about 7 hours today, and it's already been a long day. So... Anyway, hello, we're gonna stream witches again, and I'll give it a few more minutes, I guess, for people to show up if they want to watch, but I have 3 more witches. Actually, I should probably say on Discord, because I need to do that more, tell people on Discord that I'm streaming, because normally I do that on computer, but because on my iPad I can't, like, leave Mob Crush usually without it crashing. So I've had to just like not advertise. So I guess I might as well share it with my Discord now that I have a chance. So hello. I love you all. Welcome. Discord. Where is my server? Where may it be? There it is. All right. Streaming witches again. Yay. There we go. All right. I would love it if YouTube could not give me the black screen, but fine. It's whatever. Why do I care? Anyway. So, sorry about that. We're going to get right into it. So, like I said already, but I'll say it again because I have no idea what people heard and what people didn't. We have 3 witches that I've already lined, and right now I'm just lining them, and then I'm going to go back and do colors after they're all lined. So, with that out of the way, hey chat, yo, how you doing? You want me to work on Ironic Witch, or like Priest Witch, Nature Witch, or Bird Witch? What shall I do at this time in this place on this night with what YouTube says is 3 people watching, but it doesn't seem like that, so I have no idea why it's saying that. Ironic Witch. I like that name is just because it's funny to me. Ironic seems neat, yeah. His clothes are not very clear. They're clear to me, and that's what's important, but I do like rough sketches for posing and gesture before I do actual sketches now. So there are a lot of sketches I have now where it's like, if you look at them, you're like, what the fuck is happening, Zodiac? And I'm sitting here like, I know what's happening, and that's why it looks that way. So I'm seeing a couple for Bird, but I'm seeing more for Priest Witch or Ironic Witch. So I suppose, oh, we have another for Bird Witch, do we? I guess Ironic Witch it is. I gotta look up a reference for the gun, actually. Let me look up a reference for the gun real quick. And I can't do it on my iPad because why would I be able to do that? Pistol. I know exactly what kind of gun I'm thinking of, and I need there it is. Yeah. That kind of gun. Could I get Google? Could you give me like a clearer picture, please? Like a better, like that gun, but just like a clear. No, stop, Google. Why? Why you gotta make things hard on me? All right, there it is. That'll do. All right. You can't see it because why would you be able to see it? But Zodiac doesn't want to. No, it's because I can't. If I leave mob, every time I've tried to leave. Oops, wrong brush. Every time I try to leave leave Procreate while I'm streaming with Mob Crush, it crashes. So it's not a matter that like I have something to hide. It's just the fact that I physically can't, because every time I've tried, it's crashed on me. So it's why I can't do request streams, because I can't leave to get the references to draw them. So I would love to have a side-by-side reference, because that would make things so much easier for myself. But everything hates me, so it's fine. And of course, like any stream where I do art, sometimes I'm gonna get like super focused and not paying attention to the chat. But you are free to ask questions and like chat and whatever. Try to set me off on a tangent. I don't care. You are free to. I just like if I don't answer right away, it's not because I don't like you. It's just because I'm focused. I've had that before though, where someone was like, I wasn't responding specifically to them at like every question they asked, so they were like making a scene about it. And that's not fun if you tip for everyone, the YouTuber is not, like, if you want the YouTuber to not be particularly fond of you, the best way to do that is to assume that they're ignoring you because they don't like you, and then you're just going to fulfill your own prophecy because you're going to, like, be upset about something that is not happening, and it's just because they are streaming to more people than just you, specifically, so, you know. Anyway, I'm sorry, I've just had some issues like that in the past, and they bother me a bit. Because they just make the stream not so fun. You know? Gotta ruin everyone else's day. Because you didn't answer their question fast enough. Anyway, sorry. Nope. There we go. That looks close enough. It'll do. It'll do for an adoptable. It'll do. I'm trying to convince my mom to let me commission you, but she saw your mermaid art and is somehow convinced you're a not safe for work artist. I don't know why she'd look at my mermaid art and assume that, because even they don't have nips, so, you know. I mean, that's not to say I'm not, like, I will say, I am now, starting to, I'm gonna start doing more not safe for work art, but that shit ain't going on DeviantArt. That stuff's staying exclusively on a specific Twitter so that children can't follow it. Or at least I can try my best to prevent children from seeing it. And then it might become a Patreon tier. I'm debating with that. But 90% of my work is still not going to be not safe for work. I just might occasionally do some not safe for work because I'm an adult and I can do adult things. But, you know. What? The frog and the Arctic ones were, like, the least sexual of the pictures. Like, listen, some of them I get. Some of them do, in fact, look slightly, promiscuous a bit. But the frog and the Arctic ones are, like, the least sexual out of that entire series of pictures. So I don't know what your mom's on about. So, especially because, like, I have so much more art in my gallery other than the fucking mermaid concepts. So, you know, your mom is not seen many artists, I think. Perhaps. It's fine. Just don't be upset because you can't commission me. Just, it's fine. And you know, it is what it is. I understand, like, I was the only person in my family who ever understood the art thing. So, like, I don't really, me personally, I don't always, like, think that just because a parent doesn't totally understand the art thing automatically means they're like being mean or being bad. It's a parent thing, you know. So I'm just joking around. I don't actually like saying anything bad about your mom at all. But yeah, it's just a parent thing. Because I know when I started doing art online and stuff like that, and I was trying to tell my parents about it, they were both very concerned. Because, you know, especially when you're a parent who has not used the internet very much, or you don't indulge in those niches very much, you'll, like, hear the stories online, or you'll hear the horror stories more than you will hear the happy or the pleasant stories, and that's usually what they're going to base their opinion off of, unfortunately. So, you know, it is what it is, and sometimes you can't help it. It's just that's just parents are wired to worry. It just happens. And this is sticking up too much, but it's okay. What's that little piece there? I don't fucking know, but it's on the reference. I think it's supposed to be the you know how modern guns, they have the thing that you click back with it. I'm not gonna know words right now. I'm pretty sure like this is supposed to be a flintlock pistol is what it is. So you know, it's just that's the reference I have, and I was looking at other references, and this thing is on those as well. So, if someone who knows more about guns wants to share their infinite wisdom about guns, I'm all for that. Ah, shit! I destroyed my reference. And this is still not gonna look like. It doesn't look right. Ignore me while I fix my proportion mistake. This is why I would love to have the reference side by side, but I can't. Switch's only spell is bullet. Listen, sometimes that's the only spell you need. Why use all these complicated, fancy smanchy spells when bullet is just as effective? You know what I mean? Too OP, please nerf. Country witch. I was tempted to do a country witch, to be honest. It's a yeehaw. The scientific term is yeehaw witch. That's close enough. I'm just gonna accept this and just roll with it. So, you know. That gun thingy right now reminds me of a snake wearing a funny hat. I approve of that. I wish my familiar was the snake with the cowboy hat, to be honest. Random question, but do you think in a stereotypical fantasy world a queen could get away with wearing pants or a non-dress casually? I mean, if it's your fantasy world, I think you can do whatever the fuck you want. I think that's the rule with your own personal fantasy worlds. You know, I mean, if you want to base them on reality, I mean, I think you could probably do research. There's like not all cultures were exactly the same as like Western fantasy kind of stuff. So like I mean, if it's your fantasy world, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. You know what I mean? And if you need to find, like, real life historical justification for it, I mean, there were some cultures where women walked around topless. So I think you have permission to do whatever you want. So, yeah, if it's supposed to be like a realistic, like, for example, fantasy, but based on a real world culture, then you'll have to do research into that culture to understand, like, what was and wasn't socially acceptable, and things like that. Because there is a very big difference between not allowed and just not socially acceptable. Um, you know what I mean? Which I think that's a big difference that a lot of people don't really acknowledge in writing sometimes. Because there's a difference between being illegal and just morally shocking to people. Property, so to say. To counter that Gale break, that's not entirely true. It depends what culture you're talking about. In, for example, just because I'm a history buff, for example, in places like like Europe especially and stuff like that, you would be entirely correct, although it does depend on the context. I mean, there was the fact that we can go on about, like, Queen Elizabeth, for example, arguably one of the most influential and powerful female leaders in Western culture, like specifically European history. There's a big thing about her where the fact that she refused to get married and avoided being married so that she could retain that power. The idea would be that if she did get married, she would end up most likely losing the power she had kept for so long. However, if we were going to talk about cultures like, for example, Egyptian culture, it wasn't actually all that rare or unheard of for some pharaohs to actually be female. In fact, there's a very interesting, if you look into it, comparison of the fact that there's a lot of female pharaohs who would often, like, solve certain issues much differently than most male pharaohs would have. So there is a lot of different stuff. Yeah. Well, I was just making sure because I was talking generally about, like, just general history. You'll find all sorts of kinds of stuff out there. I mean, hell, if you want to, like, get really into it, we could talk about how in a lot of like Japanese and Chinese cultures and things like that, there was a period of time where it's like the emperor just kind of didn't have power anymore. They were just a figurehead kind of a thing. So, I mean, history is a fascinating thing. So if you ever need, like, inspiration to make your fantasy world feel a little bit less, like, generic, just look at some other cultures from history, because you'll find a lot of fun stuff in there that you can use for inspiration and use to work on and things like that. That's what I've been doing. Woohoo! And mine's not even actually, like, based like mainly on certain things. It's just a hodgepodge of all sorts of kinds of shit. They are hodgepodges of ideas I think are fun. Oh yeah, I was just going with Europe because most common fantasy stories are based on that time, which is a cool time, but there were so many cool cultures. Oh yeah, for sure. There's so much fun stuff. I can't. I've lost. I also which were much less sexist. You are correct. If Vikings, if you could kill a man, then you're great. Let's go. That's the short version of it. But yes, Vikings were really cool. Sometimes I feel bad. Sometimes, like, I want to play music in the background just so there's, like, if I have bouts of silence, that, like, there's something other than just silence, but then I'm, like, terrified that, like, I'll accidentally play something copyrighted. Especially because all the music I like is copyrighted music, so, you know, can't exactly do that without being demonetized. So, you know. Or not demonetized, I should say, copyright striked. I want to make a fantasy world with references to, but not exact copies of different cultures. Yeah, hell yeah, that's what Heaven's Proxies is. Oh yeah, that's you're right, Arctic, because that's exactly what I'm going for. Um, I actually had somebody once when I put up a piece of art or whatever depicting a character, and I talked about her character a little bit in there. I actually had somebody who's just like, because I think they were looking at like her outfit specifically, because I dare put her in something that vaguely looked like a kimono, and they immediately, and like I mean her headdress too was also very Chinese, like ancient Chinese royalty inspired, because the East does have a lot of like Asian inspired elements, but not just from China and Japan, from like a lot of different places in Asia. But then they like went off about how like, oh, well, she's not even she's not even Chinese. She's like she's a different race, so she shouldn't be wearing those clothes. And like oh, well, her character, which ironically a lot of her story is based on Queen Elizabeth, cough cough, but apparently it was a stereotype of ancient China, which is wild because that's not what it's based on. Not what her story is based on, anyway. And then and then they were like, oh, you just like she's not Chinese, but you put her in Chinese clothes. I'm like, you are missing the very heavy Indian inspiration in this picture, aren't you? It's like just like, let's not even mention the fact that like that the colors are like, you know, it was really really fucking funny to me. They were also making a big stink because she has a crocodile and their name is Tofu, and that was a suggestion by like a buddy of mine who suggested the name Tofu, and I picked it not because it was me being trying to be like, oh, that's the only Asian word I know. It was because it's funny because it's a crocodile named after a meat substitute. That was the joke, and apparently that like was something rage inducing. Like, yeah, I'm like, okay, like have fun with that, dude. And then I responded back, and they never replied to me. So you know, it is what it is. But I just thought that was really really funny. Because I really wanted to put more elements in my world that were less, like, just focused on, like, oh, it's your basic Western fantasy where everyone wears Victorian clothing. Because I think there's just so many more cool stuff. How often do I get comments like that? Not often at all. It's not a common occurrence. I'm sure someday it'll be more common than it is now, but as of right now, it's not a very common occurrence. It's kind of like a once in a blue moon kind of a thing. But I mean, that's just bound to happen when you do stuff like that. I will also never get the, oop, I missed that. Where did it go? Where'd it go? I don't know where it went. Anyway, but I'll find it in a minute. Respect, there's really no issue. Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that like there's a lot of cultures that I like, me personally, I would love to see like taken from inspiration from in fantasy and stuff like that. And I do definitely think that so long as you're not treating those cultures as like, oh, these are the bad guys kind of a thing, you know, like you just gotta like embrace it, and then like have like a lot of my things is like they are based, like they have very clear inspirations, but they're very heavily like fantasy interpreted. Like there's a lot of heavy fantasy stuff on top of that. For example, like to use the East as an example again, their clothing itself is very inspired by Asian countries and things like that, just in terms of the style of their clothing. But their colors are not like normal colors you'd see very common in history. They use a lot of like very bright blues and greens and things like that together. And then on top of that, when I was picking the animals, I'm like, I want to give them fucking Australian animals. That's what they're gonna ride emus. That's what's gonna happen. And it's like my favorite thing. So, you know, it's fun to take inspiration from a lot of different places and put them together and have something fun come out of that. Like, if there's more than just human... another thing is in fantasy is that you can have so many things like magic culture and probably change much more, right? Yeah. The kangaroo god. Gosh, I need to work on more of my animal stuff. Because I'm working on, like, concept art to show off, like, here's the kinds of animals that exist in the world, and I need to work more on those. I'm on the southern kingdom right now, where they got a lot of fun African animals and things like that. And their clothing is what's killing me, because they are wildly fashionable and they love crazy colors, so I'm like, shit. Because unlike the East, where I can cheat and have like a basic color palette to base them all off of, because that's what they do, the South is just like, oh, let's wear whatever fucking colors we want to wear. They're just usually, we like the bright and, like, what's the good word for it? Like the really bright, fun colors. And so it's like I'm sitting here and I don't have a specific color thing to base it off of anymore, because that's just an Eastern thing. So I'm like, fuck. Oh yeah, the cool fantasy outfits are what gives me life. They're so hard to design, but damn, I do love them. Could be odd to have cultures be based on races. The idea is that I have, wait, the idea I have is the different races in this world would be people like elves with cultures based on real life, uh, not where the culture came from? Wait, hang on. It'd be odd to have cultures based on races. The idea I have is that different races in this world would be people like elves with cultures based on real life, not where the culture came from. I'm a little confused what you mean, Miss Billy Bob Joe Jr. Oh, sorry, out of characters. Well, no, I'm a little confused, like, what you meant by that. Like, if you mean... I'm not sure. And I'm also not sure if it's a question for me or not. Uh, so, how the fuck am I doing this? I have no idea how I'm doing this. We're figuring it out. Oh yeah, I want to see like a lion given things like a colored mane and painted patterns. That seems like it would be a rich person's pet. Oh, you know it is. I forget, is it I think it is the Southern Kingdom that has lions for their sacred animal. Say you take an Irish culture and give it to the elves in this world. I mean, would that be acceptable? I mean, in my eyes, yeah, because that's what I do with a lot of mine. I think, like, off the top of my head, my north Eastern Kingdom, which is my some of my elves. Their culture is very based on Celtic and Russian outfits and clothing and things like that. Um, they're also very goth. Like in that culture, royalty, like commoners typically they like wearing a lot of like whites and grays and things like that. But royalty wears like blacks and dark grays and like everything. Like they're like absolute goths, because I thought that would be fun, because those elves are very white, like white hair and white skin, and very pale. So I've done like one sketch. I can't show it on stream right now because I don't want to risk crashing the stream. But I know I have one character I sketched. I sent it to my friend Mitchie, and she loves goth stuff, and she's like, "How could you do this to me?" But you know. Wait, but isn't any fantasy culture based on something with the real world? Mine is. I don't think you can go through that creative process without doing that, even by accident. Oh yeah, for sure. Usually any idea like you come up with can probably be related to something in real life, you know? So I think anyone, if anyone ever tries to tell y'all, like, you can't, like, it's bad to take inspiration from something, then you just need to back away slowly, because that's just not at all true. Like, it's perfectly fine to take inspirations from something, so long as you know, like, you're self-aware enough to be able to tell, you know, like, that you're taking inspiration from it, and then, like, where the line is between inspiration and copying, which, like, is not usually that difficult. It's never wrong to take inspiration from something, especially multiple places, you know, and anyone who tries to tell you that has never actually tried to write a genuine story in their life. You know what I mean? Because it's just not possible, you know? I mean, hell, there's actual, like, science behind the idea of accidental, like, mimicry, where it's, like, two people all the way across the world could come up with the exact same idea at the exact same moment, or at like, a very similar idea. I know there was a lot of discussion around that for when Rio came out, the movie Rio, and then DreamWorks, I believe, or someone, I can't remember who. Oh no, Pixar. Wait, I forget what studio, but it was two studios came up with an idea. One was for Rio, and one was for this movie called Newt, which was either by Pixar or DreamWorks, and I can't remember which is which. But and it was, I believe, like, from what was looked at, it didn't seem like there was any intentional, like, idea stealing that time, because I know whichever studio came up with Newt actually scrapped the movie because it was so similar to Rio. And it wasn't, it was Pixar, yeah. So, like, it wasn't an intentional ripoff, it was more like just a very similar idea that seemed to happen at the very same time. Um, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes, Pixar thought of Newt, Blue Sky thought of Rio. Yeah. So it was that, like, Newt and Rio had very, very similar plots, basically centering around the idea of, like, this one species, which is, like, the last of its kind, um, and like, having to go on, like, a whole adventure and, like, saving the species and whatever the hell. And it's like, from what it was seen, like, nothing about it was like a direct ripoff, but it was very clear it was like a very similar idea. And it was just like, that's like a perfect example where it was just these two totally different people came up with very similar ideas unintentionally. So that shit happens, and it's like, for people to pretend it doesn't happen, have, like, no idea what they're talking about. Because, and you can also, there are things where it's like, it is like, like, oh yeah, that's a ripoff, you know what I mean? Rio is interesting because the entire plot of the movie is trying to get Bruce to fuck, you know, as you do. But you know, it's just interesting, and I think it's a fascinating thing. Like I know me and Mitchie, when we first started talking and we started talking about our stories, we had so many times we were like, oh my god, I have a character like that too. So you know, it's just part of the human condition. You can't exist on a planet with over 7 billion people and not expect two of those people to have vaguely similar ideas at some point in their life. You know what I mean? Do 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 do. Pants. Pants are hard, but it's okay. We're just gonna deal with it. That foot doesn't look large enough. There we go. Now that's a foot. That's a honking foot. Right there. I remember seeing a trailer for Newt when watching that Cooking Rat movie. Yeah, I like it was funny because I'd actually forgotten about Newt for a long time. And then like I remember reading about that and I was like, "Oh yeah, I do remember seeing that trailer one time." Uh so it's just very interesting. Oh, he's got to have some big bushy ass eyebrows. I think it was like the trailer wasn't like exactly a story trailer. It was like one of those trailers where you see very little of it. You might just see like the main character walk on screen for a minute and then like uh something like that. And that was like what the Newt trailer was. Like you knew nothing about the plot, you knew nothing about like anything like that. You just saw the Newt, you know, like the main character. So that's why I'm sure like everyone kind of forgot about it for a while. Yeah, more like a teaser. Yeah, exactly. But you know, it was in theaters though. It wasn't. It was a theater teaser, so. And I'm sure it was on Blu-ray discs and things like that. Give him some swoopy hair. Our man, our myth, our legend. My day's alright. It's just been a very long day. Oh, hopefully it's not annoying of me asking. Are you using a tablet and a stylus or a drawing tablet? Mine broken a few days ago. Trying to find. My option's not cheap. I use a iPad with like the Apple Pencil type thing, because I love it. So mine is not a cheap alternative. I'll tell you that right now. So if you're looking for something cheap, mine's not the way to go. There he is. Look at that man. He's a man. He's got big hands. I actually want to make those slightly smaller. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. There we go. Look at that man with his big monster hands. Ironic witch. Here to save the day. Alright. Now we got two more. We have nature witch and we have bird witch. Who are we doing first? Bird witch or nature witch? Make your choices. Yeah, we hands. Borb, nature. Burb. Burb, nature. It seems Burb is winning. How did you learn your anatomy? A lot of references, and I'm sorry to say that, but that's the painful reality. There's not a lot you can do without, like, doing actual, like, studies and, looking at references and looking at, like, anatomy, you know, information and things like that. There is no cheap way to get around that, I'm afraid. All right, Burb it is. So this is the one where he's the one that I'm tempted to keep because I like him quite a lot. He's a snazzy looking fucking man, with a cool hat. My weakness. Yeah, it's true. I hear sirens. The sirens are coming. Alright. Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go. He's got that hot bridge nose going on, you know what I'm saying? Because of course you do. Alright, here he goes. Our man, our myth, our legend, once again. Bird Witch. Alright. Is it just me who's scared to change the size of my brush? I mean, I'm not, but that might be because Procreate makes it really fucking easy to change your size of your brush. And just because I don't have a consistent line art style, it's based more on, like, thickness variation, you know what I mean? Some spicy looking feathers back there. Da, 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 da. Alright, feathers. He's a feathery man. Hmm. Alright, alrighty. I actively avoid drawing birds of people with wings. I still haven't figured out how to draw feathers properly. Yeah, feathers are difficult just depending on how you want to do them and how you want them to look. Especially if you want to make them look like, realistic. Oftentimes the best way to do feathers and stuff like that, to be honest, is just to find ways to cheat. And honestly, a good way to like help you draw feathers and wings and stuff like that is to, rather than thinking of feathers as being like individual things all the time, is to start thinking them like as being shapes. Like, for example, if I was to do a really quick shoddy wing right here, it's to like think of them as bulks first. Like think of them as like full shapes, like full individual areas, and then go back in through, and then it becomes a lot easier to go back and like fill it in and figure out where all those feathers are and where all those feathers go and things like that. And that's a really shitty version of a wing, but it's usually easier to think of them in clumps and then work your way into the details, as opposed to trying to draw every individual feather right out of the gate. You know what I mean? I only know because I had to draw a bunch of fucking harpies, so. Not only harpies, but harpies that have, like, somewhat realistic feathers going on, so. I had to make them at least somewhat accurate. Ooh, you know what? I'm just gonna give myself more reasons to want to keep you, and I'm gonna give you, like, a cool-looking, claw thing going on here. Like, that, like, really cool fucking jewelry where it's, like, you're wearing metal claws. Or metal talons, I suppose you could say. Yes, perfect, perfect, perfect. Claw hand. Oh, that's too big. That's too big. It's too big. There we go. Just a little bit smaller. So it's not like a monster hand. How do I feel about the Sonic redesign? I mean, I'm all for it. I'm glad that it was changed, and I think it looks so much better now. To be honest, my only issue is that people are saying, like, oh, I'm so happy the animators listen to us, when I can almost promise you that the animators wanted it to look different from the very, very beginning, when, in all honesty, it was 99% of it was probably like corporate saying this is what we want. Like, people don't understand how little the actual animators in a movie and things like that actually have over the power of a design, because it's the animators get their art direction from the art director, you know what I mean, the lead animator, so to speak, and they get their goals lined out, like, and they have their goals lined out with somebody above that, and then there's the above that. Like, there are so many roles in making, like, animated movies and stuff like that. So I'm just frustrated that people, like, I was frustrated even way back whenever his design was first being, like, dragged upon, where it's like people were blaming the animators. Like, the animators were not, like, responsible for that necessarily, because they were most likely being told what to do by the lead director, in which case it's not really his fault. And or it's not the smaller animator's fault, because if they don't like a design, they can't change it. They have to go with what it already is if they want to get paid. So, you know, that's something that just has always frustrated me about whenever people insult, like, the direction the animation went in a movie, and they blame it on the poor, sad little animators who are just trying to get their paycheck, you know what I mean? Like, they have the end credits. If you need someone to blame the art director, blame the lead director, whatever is above the just small animators, you know what I mean? Imagine okaying that design, yeah. Modelers would also be to blame if you were to blame anime. Yeah, and even the modelers didn't, like, they had a set direction they had to follow, and they were required to go off of. You know what I mean? It's a industry animation is like a 400 step process, and I don't think people really understand that. I think a lot of people have gotten too into this idea that it's like a really easy, like, everyone, you know, is involved in anything. Like, there is a reason why there are a million credits at the end of most movies in general. It's because there's a lot that goes into making movies and things like that, animated or live action. Unless you're running a project. Yeah, if you're not a director on a project, you do not get much creative freedom. That's just the long and the short of it. Hell, even that, depending on who the writers are, you might not even get much freedom there as a director. It all fucking depends. You know, hell, fucking working for a big studio, you might not get a lot of freedom, because the big studio might tell you what to do, and then you can't argue against them. Let's give you, like, a sassy outfit. Something scandalous. because you look like the guy who'd wear something like this. Yeah, more Barrett. He's not even a Barrett. He's a lanky motherfucker. Who am I drawing? These are all adoptables. They're going to go hopefully up for sale before the end of November. So I'm doing a bunch of witch adoptables just so I can get the money. And because I wanna make more like higher quality designs that aren't just kind of the silly ones I do and then I sell them for cheap. Thank you. I'm hoping these sell well, so it'll encourage my brain to do more of these in the future. Because I want to try and do a monthly, but I'm only going to do the monthly if these at least do decently. That's my promise to myself. I like that hand. That hand turned out good. God, I want to keep this guy so much, but I should not. I need to not. I don't have a use for him. I don't have a world for him necessary. I mean, I probably could make one, but you know. Ah! Alright, I need a picture of a crow. Hang on. Let me get crow. Crow. Give me crow. Ah, perfect. There it is. Perfect. That's a bit too big. That's looking more like a raven. I love bird feet too. I just can't draw them very well. How do design characters for a fantasy-based story? Because your designs are very cool. I mean, again, it's just one of those things that kind of you get good with practice. It's a lot of like looking at references, taking inspiration from from histories and things like that. And some of it's just having fun with it, you know, like adding a lot of stuff, you know, not being afraid to just go ham and like make it extra. Because with fantasy, you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want, so you know. Who's anyone to tell you to dial it down? There we go. Alright. Big's a bit big. Make it big a little bit smaller. Perfect. Look at that smug face. That's the face of a guy who you know is up to something. Gosh, I'm still not, like, totally set on how much the starting bid for these are going to be. For the ones that are going to sell, anyway. Just because I'm not sure how much is going to be, like, totally fair for myself. You know what? You're going to get fucking... I'm going for it. I'm going to give myself every fucking reason to want to keep you just to torture myself. We're going to give you some fucking, like, thigh-high boots. Let's go. Let's go, sir. Your long, spindly-ass leggies. And you know what? I'm giving you fucking heels. Let's fucking go. Because I want myself to suffer when I'm trying to sell you, and I'm gonna have to, like, drive myself insane and probably have to sell you for more. Because I like you so much. Alright, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that my boots are appreciated. Yes, he is a very fabulous man. Just look at him. Them some boots. I want to give him glasses, but I feel like there's already enough going on by his head, so I'm gonna leave it be. There he is. Mr. Birdman. The thumbnail's working? Is my thumbnail working? No, it's not. Dang it. I thought, like, my actual thumbnail was working. Damn. That's a shame. I thought my actual thumbnail was working. Sad music plays. Alright. Wait. Oh, wait. Or hang on. I'll give him like a little, like. Yeah. Some finer details. Yes. Alright. There we go. We'll call that one finished. Birdman. Bird Witch and his bird. Looking fly. Woo. Yes, I gave him kinky boots. Of course I did. Why would I not? In fact, they're actually slightly uneven, but it's okay. We can fix it. Perfect. Alright, let me chill, because usually after I get off the shower, I like using a robe just because I'm cold. So, there we go. That helps. Much cooler. Alright. We only got one more to line now, and that's our nature witch, which is fun because she looks like she's going to have the most complicated design of them all. So, it's fine. It's our last one to go. Off we go, ladies and gents, and everything in between. And like, I don't know if I said this earlier or not, but y'all are free to ask questions and stuff. I might miss some. I'm already hating that hand. That hand's already not going good. I might not answer them immediately, but y'all are free to ask things. What are your thoughts about designing a shapeshifter? I mean, I don't have any unique thoughts about it that I wouldn't have for any other kind of character. I mean, go for it. Help a level. I know, I love them all too. It's a problem. This is why it's so hard for me to like make legit designs anymore for adoptables, because I get such a heavy temptation to like keep all of them. Is there any characters we know of that you have that is a revamp / recycle of an older character? Oh, tons. Arctic. The main characters of Heaven's Proxies are all the revamps of the old main characters. Like most of a lot of the characters I've posted from Heaven's Proxies are, not all of them, but a lot of them are. Like Solstice, revamp of the old main villain from Heaven's Proxies, and she's no longer even the main villain. Comet, Eclipse, and Star are all... Comet and Star are like the... both taken from my old character Star. Just Comet took what little of a personality she had, and Star took her design. And Eclipse is the redone version of Eclipse of the same name. So, yeah, I got plenty of characters like that. And more to come as well. What is my favorite legend? I don't know if I really have like a favorite legend per se. Like, I don't know. I mean, I like a lot of legends in general and stuff like that. I don't really know if I have a favorite. What my fave soup? I don't really have a fave soup. Hello, just saying that your artwork is great and I've taken a lot of inspiration from a lot. Well, thank you, AJ Arts. You're sweet. What's my favorite kind of tree? I mean, aesthetically, I do like birch trees. Birch trees are pretty nice. Aesthetically, they're very pretty. Which, which was the best classic YouTube series? Llamas with Hats or Charlie the Unicorn? I didn't watch Charlie the Unicorn, and I only, like, the only reason I ever saw Llamas with Hats was because, like, my friends would show it, so it's like I'd watch it that way. So, I mean, neither of them were really, like, I don't know. They're not really something I get super nostalgic over. I think, like, it's fun. Like, I'll make references to Llamas with Hats sometimes just for the fun of it, but it's not really, like, I don't really have, like, a deep emotional connection with it that much. So, I mean, I guess between the two of those, Llamas with Hats, just because that's the one I've watched. Flowers are tedious to do. Flowers are aesthetically gorgeous, but my god, are they tedious. Have you watched Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? If so, do you like it? Do you like it? I've not watched Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared myself. However, I am a fan of, like, analyzing horror literature and stuff. So I have watched, like, shoot, I think Nightmind, who did the, like, comb over for it and, like, the, analysis digging into it, which I like a lot, that video a lot. So I do find Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared very fascinating. Even if I have not watched it personally myself. Uh, do you like Crypt TV? I don't think I've heard of Crypt TV, so Nightmind is probably one of the best people who've covered it. Yeah, I just like that video a lot. It's really, I need to actually go back and put it on for background noise again. I like having videos playing in the background, so I tend to like hour-long videos that can actually kind of keep my attention and that I don't get bored of really quickly. And that's definitely like one video that is perfect for that kind of thing. Poof. poof. Making it go poof. Poof poof. Okay. What was your first OC and how would you rate it now? My first OC was Star, and way back then she was a very, like, she was a self-insert character who is not very well written, and then, like, in her actual story, she just did not have a very good, a very clear personality or very clear character motivations. So, you know, she's actually a character that I would definitely rate as being very close to being like a Mary Sue back when I had her, to be honest. I don't like that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hard do you rate accurate clothing folds? Accurate clothing folds, probably like a I don't know, 6 or 7. Doing them accurately, but clothing folds in general, like just to make them look pleasant, it's not that difficult for me at this point. And now I have Comet, that is true. He was the, him and Star are like the split off versions of it. Comet, in a weird sense, is a little bit, he's not, I would not call him a self-insert by any means, but in a lot of ways, he's kind of there to represent, like, in an ironic sense, like, me as a changed person. Because, like, since Star was originally a self-insert and Eclipse was also technically a self-insert, I felt like it would only be fair to make Comet and Eclipse boys, just for the symbolism of me saying, like, back when I made Star and Eclipse, they were girls because I thought I was a girl. Haha, jokes on younger me. But, so, you know, that was, like, just meant to be symbolism for myself, kind of, like, just a fun fact kind of a thing. And then Comet took what very, very little personality base that Star used to have, where, like, what little personality she had, you could say that she did love her family. She was dedicated to her family. She wanted to protect the world. She was, in a weird sense, by that world's standards, technically rather religious. Although I would be religious too if a celestial goddess would just appear to me in person all the time. You know, I too would be extremely religious. You know, so that was kind of where his character got based on, was like what little she had, and then I just ran with it from there. And then Star was me taking her basic design and then changing it to fit the world, but like her design went into the current Star now, but her personality most certainly did not, so... Mm. Have I ever tried animation? I have an animation on my channel. It's called The Wolf and a Rabbit, and if y'all haven't seen it, I would love it if you could, because I'm very proud of it, and I wish it would have more views sometimes. But, you know, YouTube is mean to animators, so... No, but I do I have animated before. I do know how to animate. I can't really do it very frequently, but I have before. There's also the monster animation, that is true. That animation, which, knowing what I do now, is actually very impressive because we were forced to make that in. I was forced to make that in as a beginning animator, as an amateur, never animated in my life animator, been like forced to make it in like 3 weeks. So, you know, I mean, not 3 weeks, but like at a very, very unreasonably short amount of time to do an animation. That's the point. So, you know, there is also that one if you want to go back and see that one. It's because my teacher that year was not the best in the world. Mm. She do magic. She do nature magic. Look at her go. Ba, 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 ba. Give her a little button. Give her a little button nose. Let me do this hat first, and then I'll do her bangs. Your designs are so... Well, thank you. Thank you. I try very hard. I love designing characters. Sorry I'm being so quiet. I don't have much to talk about. Not much to talk about at all. Do. The Crystal Fails series, yeah, I still get comments on those sometimes. Good times, good times. Hmm. Okay. Flowers. Flowers. No, Arctic. No, it's like a like wisteria bunches, you know what I mean? Don't you call my lovely plants moss. Don't you dare. How do you create lore for your stories? Sorry for asking so much. No, it's fine. Don't be afraid to ask. Um, it's just a lot of like, it comes with time, you know what I mean? You don't like stay up overnight and suddenly come up with like all this like complex lore for your stories. A lot of it happens over time and after things like that. And if anything, I would just sit there and I'd think about sometimes it's like, again, it's that inspiration thing. I have a lot of things in Heaven's Proxies I started with that kind of started with like basing stuff on fairy tales and things like that, just having some fun with that, and then it's branched out to become more and more like original ideas. Lore isn't going to happen, like in-depth lore especially is not going to happen overnight. So it just kind of comes with like playing around with ideas, exploring things. Asking questions is always a good one. Like, ask questions, and if you don't have an answer to it, make an answer to it. You know what I mean? Uh, like, figure out where the holes are and everything like that. Hmm. Just begun. I speak yeehaw. Actually, do you find that in terms of commissions and stuff that like there's a certain type in particular that you enjoy doing the most? Oh no, I get what you mean. Same question about your characters too. Do you find those characters? In terms of commissions, I typically enjoy getting more unusual characters sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of characters that I can find fun. There's characters that I look at that I actually like sometimes get commissioned, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna like drawing you, and then I draw them, and I'm like, oh, that was actually really fun. But I know in general, I typically find the most interest in when I'm commissioned to do kinds of characters that I'm not like usually commissioned to draw, so like kind of unusual characters like monsters and things like that. um I typically like, I also do really like, some of my favorite commissions are actually ones where the character does not really have a very complex like design or anything like that. Like they're very, very simple. Just because that when I have like a lot of room to play with like body types or faces or like a lot of room for interpretation's really, really fun. Hang on one second. Just because it's like there's just so much room for like creativity or just like my own interpretation to just kind of have fun with it. So I like those ones quite a lot. And again, I like kind of unusual ones, like monsters and stuff like that, aliens, things I don't usually draw as much as like say normal human characters and things like that. But again, like I said, there's not really any kind of of character that I dislike drawing, and I could like any of them or whatever. It's just you never know. I've had tons of characters where I'm like, I'm not gonna like drawing you, and then I draw them, and I'm like, oh, you were pretty fun. What do you know? Alright, I think I can call that done. Yes, yes. What do you know? I've lined them all, and I'm not actually, like, tired of streaming yet, so... You know what? Let's color one of these bad boys. Let's do it. Let's have a party, and let's do some coloring, so... Oh, hang on. Because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like I can at least color one of them, if not two. So... what do y'all feel like? Which one should I color first? Should we do Clown Witch, Spider Witch, which is already been bought by Mitchie, so that's a character for her. Ironic Witch, Nature Witch, Bird Witch, or Death Witch? What shall we do? Whatever shall we do? Spider. I see Spider. Bird Witch, Death, Bird Witch, Death Witch, Spider, Death. Oh, I see we found our three favorites, it seems. Himbo Witch, Bird, Eight-legged queen of my heart, Bird, Himbo. Oh my goodness. Sandwich. Who's Sandwich? Okay, well, I guess we're doing Bird then. Because it seems to be the most that we're getting here. At least it seems like it. So... I have no fucking clue what colors I should make them, and I can't go get references. So we're just gonna have to figure it out. Ooh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Just there we go. All right. There he is. That's our guy. All right. Let's see here. Let's give you... You look like the kind of guy... Let me think. Yeah, I like that. Go with that. I feel like you'd have, like, crow feathers, so lots of black, but that kind of iridescent, like, blues and greens and things. Because that's what I'm feeling right now. Have that, but then have, like, some, kind of, like, really faded out, like, just so they're more subtle, like blues and greens. In your hair. Colors of the Bappy. And then we'll give you a lot of, like, mister. We're going to give you a lot of, like, dark clothes. Are you shading him? Or that's just like a hair effect kind of a thing. I don't know if I'm going to shade these or not. I'm kind of tempted to. Like, to shade them, and then to get the flat colored versions, you have to, buy them. But we're going to see. Okay. So, like a crow with iridescence. Yeah, yeah. So we're going to give you, like, all that black clothes going on. In fact, we could probably just, like, do a little bit of that and color on top of the black. Just a little. Listen, I love him too, Mitchie. I have to resist the urge to buy him, okay, or to keep him, okay? So let's see. Let's give you, like, some sassy, how to draw a face. You smash your face onto the screen, and then the iPad, or your tablet, like, transfers that data onto the thing. There you go. That's how you do it. That's how you draw faces, guys. That's my secret. Let's give you... I want you to get, like, green, because you're, like, a very villainy-esque looking character right now, so I want you to have, like, lots of sassy green going on here. Because you totally have, like, that villain green undertone aesthetic going on. Yeah, let's make all the feathers the same as your hair. Gay-coded Disney villain looking ass. Yeah. Listen, that's the thing with lighting. Fun little fact here. In cinematic terms, green lighting, like green sets and green colors themselves, are interpreted as often being more natural looking colors. However, fun fact, green lighting in cinematic language is the cinematic language for something being wrong. So if you ever want to, like, that's why most Disney villains are, like, their songs are done with green undertones, because it's like the symbol of something being unnatural, or not being right. You know what I mean? So that's just a fun fact for you guys. Oh ho ho ho. So yes, if you ever want to, like, do something with a villain and make them, like, spooky, do give them colors that do good with green lighting, and there you go. You've gotten it. Thomas Sanders is a villain. Why do I have the urge to make a nest and offer him shiny things for his love? It's because bitches love sticks. That's why. Becky, let me smash. What color beaks? Let me look at that. Oh yeah, they're, like, gray too, so. Give the bird, like, a spooky going, like, green eye over here. Let's just do a lot of the insides being green right now. Made that brighter, would it look cool? Yeah, I like that. Do 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 do. Nah, I like the black more. Just keep that black. Resist my urge to color the insides of everything for once. But that doesn't mean I won't make the bottom green as fuck. Him in his leggy boots. Gotta be suave. Green. So much green. It's weird how green is associated with life and nature, but also plague like your toxic entities. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's why it's like, again, it's why the color green for, like, oh, my iPad battery is low. Not my iPad battery, my pencil battery is low. It's why, like, green for objects is considered natural, but green for lighting is unnatural because green lighting doesn't exist in nature. You know what I mean? You know, let's tone this down a little bit. A little bit too neon. That's a little better. Just a little less intense. Alright, have fun, Sorxian Chaotic. Hope I pronounced that right. It's late. He's gonna have like you know, that leather, like that kind of leather boots too. So it's like he's gonna have that same little lighting thing on his hair, on his boots. But it's gonna be in like that sleek, leathery looking type thing. You know what I'm saying? Da, da, da. Best way I can describe his color palette reminds me of a Teton pearl. Yeah, you ain't wrong. It's got that like oil spill kind of look to it. It's that black iridescence kind of a thing. Let's give him just a little bit more green in some places. Is there going to be another video about the thing about Mary Sue's? I mean, no, probably not. I mean, I've said, like, everything in relation to that I would have to say, so most likely not. Not about Mary Sue's, at least. Do you plan on doing another fan review stream soon? Hopefully tomorrow if I'm feeling up to it, but there is a chance I might, like, feel a little too busy to do it, but hopefully tomorrow, that's what I'm kind of aiming for. Yeah, let's give you... So, let's make them silver. I don't work with silver enough. Okay, let's give him some silver buttons too. That'll dance. When was the last time you watched something Steven Universe related? I mean, probably a while ago, to be honest. And honestly, I don't even think I've watched something Steven Universe related until, like, after the season finale that happened. Did you not watch the movie? No, I didn't. I still haven't. I just haven't really felt I haven't really gotten around to it or felt like a super like deep motivation to at the moment. Just been kind of focused doing my own thing right now. There he is. There's our boy. Should I shade this? I could. I really could. I really could shade it, because that would be pretty cool. Unless it just means that it's like, you know, when you buy it, you get the unshaded version so you actually know what fucking colors to use. I'll think about it for a second. Would you ever try to write a pilot for a TV show? I mean, if I were to write a TV show, I'd have to. So, you know. Oop. My screen did a flip there for a second. Let me actually, like, plug this in real quick, and charge my stylus for a hot minute. Yeah, should I shade the? I guess I'll shade them. At least do, like, minimal shading on it. How many cupboard doors do you have? I have no idea. I don't really count my cupboards. Will you ever do tutorials or video on your drawing process? I've wanted to, but I just, like, I can't. I don't have the patience for it anymore. And I've done a tutorial stream, and I hope someday I'll do those again. Although now, because YouTube decided to fuck all my thumbnails, at this point I don't even think I'm going to do that anymore because I can't have a decent thumbnail for it. But, yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to have the patience to really sit down and make a proper tutorial video at this point. Especially because every time I try, it's like, I'll do it and I'll record it and then I'll be like, oh, but what about this? Oh, but what about that? Oh, what about this other thing that I forgot to mention? And then it just becomes this rabbit hole of I can never have enough information in there, so, yeah. Only simpletons don't count count their cupboard doors. Well, I apologize for being a simpleton. Alright, let's just shade it. Why not? Just so there's, like, just some minimal shading, and then it can be, like, you know, if you buy the adoptable, you can have the full version of it. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Alright. Here we go. I only ever draw OCs. Is that bad? No. Who told you drawing OCs was like only OCs is bad? Is that what, if that's what you like to draw, then draw it. Oh my god, to eat all my brand cereal. On a scale of chicken to house, how many windows do you have on your floor? 3. Anyway, let's see, shading. I only ever draw shit feet porn. Is that bad? I mean, no. Not in a legal sense. Alright, 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 alright. Okay. Just some more. Just keeping it basic. And we'll do like a quick little like shimmy shine on like the metal bits here and things like that. I'm swooning over this hot oil spilled golf bird while eating a roast beef sandwich. You sound like you're living the dream. There we go. There he is. There's our man. Birdman has been completed. Wow. We've done it. We've truly done it. We've completed one of the airdrops into the wild. Alright. Now the question is, who we do next? That is the question. So we have Birdman is completed. Who do we want to color next is the question. Because I'm willing to do at least one more. And we'll see how I feel after that. So we have Death Witch, we have Nature Witch, we have Ironic Witch, and we have Spider Witch, and then we have Clown Witch. So. Oh my goodness. Himbo, Spider, Himbo, Himbo, Speeder. Thank you, Clickbait Aesthetic. I appreciate it. Speeder, Clown, Clown. That's 3 for Speeder, 2 for Himbo, 2 for Clown, 3 for Clown, 4 for Clown. We have 4 for Clown. Ah, another for Himbo coming in the back. Weenie Witch? Who's Weenie Witch? Alright, it says... Oh my god. Alright, sounds like Clown actually ended up getting the most, so here we go. I have no clue what color she's gonna have. We're just gonna have to fucking see. Alright. So for starters, I feel like she's gonna have like some warmer, deeper skin going on. It feels like a good choice for her. Kind of want to give her like some quirky looking face paint. Like give her some big cheeks right here. Give her some lips. She's gotta be different shades of yellow, only yellow. I mean, the question would be to start with is what the fuck hair color should I give her? That's the real question right now. I looked away. Yellow, all black hair, each segment hair a different color. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Rainbow, cyan and magenta hair, then yellow, each segment a different shade of yellow. You are very dead set on the yellow, aren't you, Alex Games? A bright green to honor Shrek. Oh my god. Giving her rainbow hair might be fun, but then that would be very, very difficult to do the rest of her outfit if I do that. I feel like I'm going to give her dark eyes. I feel like just so there's like at least some part of her has less color. Let's give her like brown eyes. Pastel, cyan, yellow, magenta. Perhaps. Ooh, that would be interesting, having her outfit be like grayscale and letting her hair be the rest of it. That would be interesting. I'm gonna get rid of the makeup for now, just because it's like a little distracting. That would be really interesting, actually. I kind of like that idea. Let me think about this. About orange hair. Let's just play around with this, because I like the idea of her hair having multiple colors. I kind of want to see how the cyan, magenta, yellow thing would kind of look. Let me lighten this a little bit so I can. There we go. All right. Let me think about this, because I think that would be. That would be kind of cool, like a cotton candy kind of witch going on here. Kind of like the idea of her being like a cotton candy witch, to be honest. Let's do like pinks and blues and yellows. That'd be really fun. Alex is very committed to the yellow, which I can approve of. Yellow is honestly one of my favorite colors. Yellow just goes good with a lot of things. It's as heartwarming as the color yellow. So let's do like her hair will be like pink, and let me make this a little paler. Actually, let me make this a little like, and then we can make this cyan. We'll make it just a little bit softer. That does like stand out a lot with the, there we go, that looks a little nicer. Should we do like a split down the middle or like a fade? Let me think about this. Segment, fade, split. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards the split myself, to be honest. Let's do. Oh, okay. Sorry, my iPad glitched there. Let's do like. Let me try this real quick, just because I'm interested to see how it looks. Do the yellow. Then we have like the blue coming in here. I think the pink needs to be stronger. I think that's what's bothering me right now. Yeah. Needs to combat that blue a little bit. And now we have like a base going on here, and then we can do some like streaks. Yellow. She's gonna have like a psychedelic kind of aesthetic going on, to be honest. As the clown witch rightfully should. Let's just have some fun. Nah, I don't really like that. I like it a little bit more how it is. But my yellow is a little dull, but it's okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. It's beautiful. Beautiful. All right. I wanted to ask this, but was a bit nervous. Could you have a puzzle piece in one of your adoptables? I don't think a puzzle piece, just because none of them are really themed off of puzzles. But, you know, I mean, I could probably do a puzzle-themed adoptable another day sometime. Let's do for colors, and we'll make all her colors like a variations of pink, cyan, and yellow. starting with her hat. Alright, so let's do like some cool, like pink, magenta, cyan sort of stripes. There we go. I like that one. All right. Colors are hard. No, I actually don't. I want it to be... Gotta find that right balance. Actually, let's just make her hat... Let's make her hat just... Yeah, you know, I have an idea. I think we can make it work. Let me try this. I love Clown Witch a lot. She's another one I'm really tempted to keep, just because she's really fun. Yeah, there we go. I like that. Have you seen or heard of Taj Mahal Hotel? Yeah, I've watched it. Stripes, 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 stripes. Cotton candy queen going on here. Let's do some makeup on you. Angel Dust's definitely my favorite, just because he's in a lot of ways, he is like the character type that I love writing the most, and I love like reading the most, and so it's like so fun to be able to finally see that sort of character in like animated is just really fun for me personally, so he's got to be my favorite. How do you usually choose color schemes? It depends on the kind of character I'm doing. Sometimes it'll be based off of something. Sometimes it'll be, yeah, I don't like that. I'm going to go with, let me try like a dark or a yellow. Yeah. Cute little yellow bottom lip going on. it's usually, again, it depends on like what kind of character I'm doing. Sometimes I'll have like, I don't really like that. I'll just leave her without lipstick. I think is fine for her. But yeah, like I was saying, it usually depends on the kind of character I'm doing. It's like sometimes I'll have something I can base their color scheme on, but sometimes it's like just whatever I feel like fits them, or whatever I feel like, I just play around with colors and I find something. Sometimes it's based on, color language kind of a thing, like what kind of like personality like that fits them in terms of color. And then sometimes like it's even instead it's like what colors the character themselves would want to wear, you know what I mean? Like as opposed to what fits them in a personality, but like what colors they would choose to wear. So, it's a lot of different things. It's a lot of different things. I don't like that. I like that color. Let's do like, I'll come back to that. I'll come back to this. Let me just block it out. Let me think. This one's a tricky one because it's like it's that balance of trying to figure out making her have quirky colors, but also making sure she's not too over the top. You know what I mean? I gotta make her like the perfect balance between chaos and not chaos. I don't know. Did I color Himbo yet? I have not colored Himbo yet, don't worry. Okay. Let's do like this top part. With like the light pink sleeves. And then we can do this bottom pants by giving her the cyan skirts. Make this corset. It's kind of like this darker yellow color. Yeah, that looks cute. Let's give her some detail though. Do. The hat reminds me of the candy trees from Wreck-It Ralph. I mean, yeah, I ain't wrong. It certainly does look like that. Let's make these like light blue. I don't like the stripes up there. They're not as cute. I'll just keep them into the one. Ooh. Alright, alright, alright. She's a stranger I'd 100% accept candy from. I like all the poofiness. Well, thank you. I love poof. Poof is fun. Somehow I like that. I think that top piece should be... Maybe the top piece should be blue, actually. Yeah, I like blue. But then I'll put like I'll put the yellow back on there. There she is. All right. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there. We're almost there. I know it. I can feel it. Gloves. I guess let's make her gloves yellow. I guess. And with the color palette we already have going on. Actually, let's just make it skin tone. Let's just make it her skin tone. We won't give her gloves. Yeah, I like that. That looks nice. All right. Kind of feel like she's missing something just a little bit. color, like let's just kind of some color back in like her sleeves, and like put some of this back down into her pants. There we go. That's just to make it like, just to make the colors a little bit more throughout and not as sectioned off as much. Yeah, that looks nice. So I need to do the stick. I gotta do the stick. Maybe like put some of the wild colors in there. The stick of cotton candy. Wow. All right. There we go. We got Wild Witch going on, but I need to make her. I need to make her just some of her line art a little darker. Yeah, I'm still streaming. What about it, Mitchie? Come fight me.